All right, everybody, thank you for stopping by. So, in this video, I'm going to be doing a predecessor tier list for ultimates for every hero in the game. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to try to do it pretty quick because the last tier list video I did, it strung on for 40 minutes. So, Countess, I think her ultimate is low key broken, but actually, I'm going to say good, but not broken. Oh my gosh, I'm having a hard time with this, aren't I? But I think her ultimate's really good, but there's also times where she can be negated pretty easily if she gets stunned in the middle of it. So I think it's good, not broken. Crunch, good, not broken. I mean, he just mimics the ability that he has, but with it being charged or charged up. So that's not too bad. I mean, sometimes it feels like it's broken when he stun locks you, but yes. All right, I think that's Decker. Yeah, I don't see her anywhere else. So that must be Decker. Her ultimate, I'm gonna say good, not broken. It's not great, but it's also not like the worst. Actually, let's go balance on her. That's pretty much what I just said right there. Drongo, good if well. I'm gonna just say balance. I mean, it's kind of useless, but there's a lot of times where he gets away from fights that he shouldn't be able to. Feng Mao, I feel like this is a mixture between D and C because it's really good if you can land, but I also think that it's kind of broken. Not DC. It's a split between C and S because it's kind of broken that he can use it multiple times, but it's also really good if you can land it. But I think it's kind of broken that he could ult you and he gets to kill it and it instantly regenerates his ultimate, which is kind of busted. So ultimately, I'm going to leave it here because I don't think he's such a broken character that he gets overused. But I think his ultimate, it's kind of broken that he can get it right back instantly. Anyways, moving on to Gadget. I think it's pretty balanced. I mean, it's kind of annoying to deal with, but you can just step out of it. Gideon, if you asked me this a year ago, I would have said it was broken. Right now, I think it's pretty balanced. Greystone. I think I'm going to put it in broken, not because of the ultimate itself, but I think it shouldn't slow down people when they're trying to get away from it. Because a lot of times you dash in, do damage to him, and you can't dash out, so you just take the damage, and there's not really any way to avoid it. So I feel like his ultimate, it's fine in every way, except for when he's using it, it shouldn't slow people. I think that would balance it out a lot. Grux, good, not broken. Howitzer, good, not broken. I did think that he needed some work, but last time I played him, it was actually kind of good. So I'm going to leave that in good, not broken. Kalari, I think her ultimate needs a little bit of work. But that's going to be between C and D because it's really good if you can land it, but it's also just kind of underwhelming ult. Chimera, I'm going to leave that in balanced. It's not great, but it's not like bad either. Kira. So I feel like Kira's ultimate used to be broken, but I think it's in a pretty good place right now. I'm just going to leave it in balanced. Or maybe good, not broken, because it can be really broken sometimes, but I feel like I haven't really been complaining about it too much, so that's kind of going to be what I base it off of. Lieutenant Bellica, good, not broken, especially if you get the right items with her. Her ultimate really hurts. Morgesh, I think it's good, not broken. Because there's a lot, as good as and annoying as her ultimate is, it can be easily avoided by getting a certain card or items or abilities. There's just so many ways to avoid her ult that I don't think it's necessarily broken. And Murdoch, good, not broken. I mean, it's the same thing. He can pretty easily avoid his ult. Just need to be paying attention to when you're low on health and you're in sight that he might be ulting you. All right, Muriel. I'm going to say it needs work just because I think that the animation needs to be a little bit slower and the shield could be a little bit better. Because I feel like when I used it, the shield didn't last very long. So I think it needs a little bit of work, and I don't know exactly what that work needs to be. But I also think it's really good for what she does. And speaking of being really good for what she does, I'm going to add Phase into the balanced. Because it's not that great of an ult, but it's good for her role and what she does. So I think that's good to put in the balance. So Narbosh is one of those characters where if you read his ultimate on paper, it seems broken. but I think I'm gonna put it in balance just because it's good for what he does. But if like he was alone using it, it wouldn't really do him any good. But if he was with people, it can be considered broken. But I'm gonna put him in balance because like if he's by himself, that ultimate's not gonna do him any good. Rampage, I'm gonna put in good, not broken, just because it can save you sometimes, but also at the same time, I've seen him die while he's using it, so it can be good, but it's also meh. Revenant, I'm gonna put that actually in good if you can land, and I don't mean like landing it necessarily, but I mean like there's a lot of times I've seen revenants use this at the worst time, and I feel like it could be really good. Like I've seen revenants that use it to go and chase people in the towers, and I think that's a really good time. But I've had people use revenant's ult to try to get away into their own towers, and I didn't notice this, but if he uses his ult and you go into his tower won't shoot you either. And I don't think the guy I knew used that. But there's also times where he just uses it at the wrong time. And the other day I was actually playing and Revenant uses ult to save a teammate because he was full health and I was killing his teammate. And he used his ult on me so I couldn't kill his teammate. And I think there's a lot of good things that you can do with him. But it's also like you can use it at the wrong times too. Because sometimes he just uses it to try to get away, but he doesn't really get away. So it's good if you use it in the right situation. Richter. I want to put him in balanced, I think. It's not really that broken. It doesn't really do damage, but when he ults people, they're just sitting there taking a little bit of damage from him, but then they take damage from all the teammates as well. And just with the combo of all of Richter's abilities, it's not broken, but the ultimate doesn't really do much itself, but it's with the combination of everything and your teammates attacking him. I think it's not bad. Seraph, I'm gonna put with right next to Grux because I feel like they pretty much have the same ultimate. All right, Sevrog. I'm gonna put this in good if you can land it. Because if you're just using Sevrog's ultimate to get away, you're not using him right. And I think there's a lot of times where he'll shoot me away when he's like killing me and it'll actually save me. But if you like use it correctly to like shove people into towers and stuff, then it's really broken, really good. But it's only good if you use it right. Shimby, absolutely busted. Yeah, I don't know if I need to really go much into that, but like when she ults people, it does so much damage. It just like shreds through armor and it doesn't like no matter how much armor you have, it feels like it doesn't do anything. And I'm just glad that the stacks are limited to 8. All right, Steel, I'm gonna put that as balanced because I don't really complain about his ult too much, but if we were talking about his tactical, I think that can be broken sometimes. I don't know why I put a 3 there on exit. But anyways, the Fae, I'm going to put her ultimate as broken. Not because her ultimate like is broken as in it does too much damage or anything like that. But when it shows a circle when she's using her ult, and when you're not in it, it still pulls you in. And I think that needs to be fixed to where if you're in the circle, it'll pull you in. But if you're outside the circle, you should be fine. But I don't know if it's the hitbox or it's meant to be like that. But yeah, that's not really fair. When you're outside of it and it still pulls you in. All right, so I know why it's putting a 3. Twin Blast, I'm going to say his ultimate's balanced because it's not... Actually, I'm going to put it in good because there's a lot of times I've seen it shred people, but I don't think it's necessarily broken just because the duration is... I think it's perfect where it's at, but it's still really good. Xeris, I'm going to put it in balance. I was going to put it in good if you can land it, but it's kind of hard to mess it up, but... I think a lot of times they use it in the wrong situation, but when it's used in the right situation, it's really good. It secures 1 kill, but it's not like amazing to put in the good tier because it can only be used on 1 person. Sparrow, I want to put her in broken, but I don't know if her ult's necessarily broken. But I think it needs to be a little bit nerfed. But I think just the attack range needs to be nerfed on her ultimate. But that's it. Wraith, I'm going to say good if you can land, because a lot of times I feel like people use it in the wrong situation, but I think it's a really good ultimate. It's really annoying. And I did learn a free tip. If you use stasis when he uses his ult on you, it'll save you from being sucked back. Him, I'm gonna put. I think I'm gonna put him in broken. The only reason I'm gonna put him into the broken is because the knockback afterwards is super like annoying, and there's a lot of times where I'll just eat his ultimate to try to kill him, and then he just throws you back, and then he's safe. Yeah, so doing all that damage and then keeping him safe at the end, I don't think that's fair. And Quang, I'm gonna put Quang at balance just because like I don't think it's necessarily broken, but it's really good. Uh him, it needs work. I feel like there's a lot of times where his ultimate can be really good, but it's just really underwhelming 90% of the time. And that definitely needs work. Uh I got I'm gonna put this here because I think he needs work. Because I think a lot of times he doesn't do very much damage, but I feel like the times I've said he doesn't do very much damage just because of people's builds. And her, Aurora, I'm gonna put it in the useless category. And the reason I'm saying that is like, and you know, if you watch my streams, I play Aurora all the time. But her ultimate, I swear to God, her ultimate only works half the time. Like I'll ult people and they don't even get frozen into ice cubes. And even when they get frozen into the ice cubes, it's only like for a second. It's not very long. And the damage is insequential. Like it's not, I don't know if that's the right word. It's just not very much. It's not worth it. I just kind of use it as a deterrent more than anything because you're like, oh no, she's ulting me, but her ult's pretty useless. I feel like saying useless is kind of a strong word, but there's a lot of times where I feel like it's just straight up useless. All right, Terra, I'm gonna put in balanced. I had to look up what her ultimate was because I never play her, and I couldn't even tell you what her ultimate was before this video, but I don't think it's that bad. Like cleansing your debuffs and having a bit of a power isn't really that bad. It's kind of on the tier of Grux and Seraph, but I feel like not as good. So put you in balanced. All right, Zinx. I think I almost put her in useless because like I'm gonna put it in good if you can land because there's a lot of times where Zinx will use her ultimate and I feel like it's such a waste because she'll be getting like ganked by like 3 people and use her ultimate and then just come back to life and then die instantly. And I think that's just kind of useless. But there's a lot of times where like, if you're in a big team fight and you revive your tank, then that could be broken because if you're the whole team's like going on the tank and then you revive the tank and then they back to square one, that's huge. I think it can be broken, but a lot of times when I see people use it, it's in terrible places. It's like just to prolong a fight that they're going to lose anyways. All right, last two, Skylar. It's really good if you can land it. It's so hard to land that sometimes, but it's really good if you can land it. And Yin, I was thinking about putting her in broken, but honestly, I hate the fact that there's abilities that can negate someone's ultimate. And at first, I thought her ultimate or her ultimate that she has, I thought that was just an ability, and I would have hated it if it was. But since it's an ult that can negate an ult, I'm not going to put it in broken, but I'm going to put it in good because there's a lot of times where she can deflect like anybody's ult with that, except for Morgesh. I know there's a lot of conversations about that, whether her ult should block Morgesh's ult, but that's to be debated. We'll see. But anyways, let me know what you guys think of this tier list. And if you want to see any other tier lists in the future, be sure to let me know. And be sure to like the video and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.